Welcome back to Film Study and All-American Podcast with Lexi. I am Lexi. If you listened to the last episode, you heard me and my friend Chanel recap Season 3 thus far from episodes 1 through 8. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about episode 9 and reviewing it and sharing our thoughts on it. So I hope you enjoy. Episode 9 starts out with the crash, actually right before the crash, when she's like confessing her love, and then we see the crash happen, and then we see her asking him to take the fall for her, and he didn't even get the chance to take the fall for her because the cops came, and as we know, the cops on this show, it usually doesn't end up good or great or any of those things, but they both had their licenses out. They ran it through and they figured out that Olivia's mom was the district attorney. So they were like, you guys are going to go home. I was so thankful. It is
privilege. Let's talk about privilege. No, but
let's talk about it. It is very extreme privilege. And as we know, it's just problematic when you ask a black, dark-skinned man to take the fall for you. Commit a felony.
She didn't think that one through.
A non-sober, just relapsed live is just she is a dime. She's a dime.
Life is in shambles, right? Just
Life
like mental
in full shambles.
Mental capacity just in the gutter, yo.
And they go, and she's just like, yeah, I just, they end up home, and right after it, she's not even, because we see her reaction to the police before, but right after they get home, she's not even fazed by it really. She's just relief and
no remorse.
No remorse.
Thank you for taking the fall. So, by the way, we're gonna be together, right? Ma'am, you definitely just asked me.
This girl had the gall to kiss him. She was just like, "Listen, I had a drink because I was nervous."
Her blaming it on the "I love yous," I was like, I know Olivia is not out here blaming the fact that she crashed and that she's stressed on the fact that she wanted to say I love you. No. What we're not going to do is take this love, okay? And you're bringing in mess into this.
And it had Spencer shook for a sec. I mean, she, you know what? If there's one thing that I could give her props for, it's that she knew. She was just like, I'm just going to I'm going to say I was nervous about the I love yous. I'm going to go and kiss him. So he's not thinking about anything, he's not thinking about the fact that I relapse right now because it's just one drink. And as we quickly gather, Spencer's just hold up. She emptied this little Beverly Hills water bottle, and she's had that bottle with her all summer because they were together all summer.
So, and we never get any insight into why she started drinking. But based on tonight's episode, I wonder if it's because even last season, she could never get in contact with her sponsor. So maybe that was a result of it?
Yeah.
I can't reach out to this person. I'm feeling this kind of way, so I'm going to drink the pain away. And then it just became another habit.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that because I came away with that same thought process because I was just it's a mix of things, right? She, when we first see her really wanting to take a drink, it's because her, parents are just sort of not getting on with their lives, but their lives are moving really fast, and she does that whole speech about how they're living in the future, and she has to very much live in the present. And then the next one is when she, finds out that her parents' marriage is down the drain for a little bit there. And then the next is that she's alone. And so we see a couple different reasons as to why she wants to take a drink over the last 2 seasons. And we also know that like her PTSD about being part of the shooting was never really
That's
resolved.
so
There was like
true.
like she couldn't sleep. She had that thing in Crenshaw where she was scared there was a gun, but that wasn't really resolved. And so I thought that they were gonna address that sort of, but no, I think they really were just like it's because she couldn't get a hold of her sponsor.
Wow.
Which I feel like is a bit reductionist too. Maybe
Mm.
not. I don't know. I don't know a lot about addiction, so.
I can't speak
But
on
it
it. I'm
was
not sure
yeah.
either.
I can't speak on it. But it was she couldn't get a hold of her, and maybe it's that she felt let down because that was very clear in the when she called. We're jumping,
I know.
but he sort of confronts her. He calls her and he says that he knows that she's been drinking this entire time, and she again tries to sort of lie about it. And then she's just like, "All right, just let me handle it my way." And he's like, "You have until tonight."
Can you imagine the ultimatum though? Came out of
The
nowhere, but I was
ultimatum.
like, whew. And I didn't think that he was going to stick by that, but he was playing no games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that he thought that she was going to tell them, which he we see. So they go through the day. They're like, when are they looking for the kicker? At some point in this episode, they were like looking
Right.
for a kicker for Crenshaw. They got the kicker for Crenshaw and turned out to be a girl, which Billy was surprised about. She's fun. I'm excited to see where her storyline goes.
Right.
Um, yeah, but so in the midst of all that, they're looking for a kicker. But when it comes to family dinner, Jordan Simone, out of the blue, Jordan wants to tell his parents that he is
Our
married.
favorite
What was
couple.
that about?
I don't know. Like, Jordan has a way of.
He's just impulsive.
Yes, yes, that's the perfect way to describe him. Incredibly impulsive and just stupid. And
Yes,
I
because
don't I don't know
yeah,
where he gets these ideas from, and then he just wants to run with them. I'm still completely confused and just like shaking
same.
my head at the fact that they're even married
Yeah,
because talk about a ridiculous idea.
yeah. So part of me is just like sometimes the writing staff of All American, which love them, have so much love for them, like find these little ways to like insert storylines of convenience. And
Mm,
so with the or like just find convenient ways to talk about something that they want to talk about. But like so with the storyline the last episode with the mental health, they had this whole like Laura soliloquy about like the importance of mental health. That
mm-hmm.
also came out of nowhere. And so, but
True.
it was just like, okay, we have this thing, so we can, insert this very helpful blurb, but like random nonetheless blurb about mental health and taking mental health days and stuff like that. I got the same feeling with this Jordan thing because
Mm.
Simone even indicated she was just like, "Hey, why do you want to, why do you want to tell your parents right now?" And he didn't really give an answer. So that to me was like the writers being like, "Ugh, we gotta bring this up."
Oh my gosh.
Because
Yeah.
okay, studying a little bit of script writing, you figure out that like every line has to have a purpose and every scene has to have a purpose and intention. And so just knowing that in the back of my mind, it's just so funny that they like dedicated time to be like, what? Why do you all of a sudden want to?
And what was his reason? His reason was just because I
He just
want
said,
them
"I
to
just
know that
want
you're
it."
my wife.
Yes, yes, which is crazy because they're married illegally. They forged a signature. But as we know, Jordan is not that bright.
I didn't even. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. Okay, so this whole marriage, yeah, the whole marriage is a
Yeah.
sham.
The whole marriage is a sham. They're not even living together, but I
Okay.
digress. It'll be interesting to see where that marriage situation goes in the future.
Yeah, because
We'll talk
what
about
bigger
that.
issue I wonder are they trying to get at? But
That's
definitely for
yeah,
another
that's
day.
yeah, yeah. So they're debating on whether or not to be open about their marriage at this family dinner that the Bakers have. Spencer is there, um, which I also thought was interesting. I'm like, so I was under the impression that Spencer and Olivia weren't necessarily officially together at the end of last episode, but because of the car crash. But then he's like showing up to family dinner, and I'm just like, do people know? If not, they're not like saying anything about it. We have no sort of reaction. They're like kissing in the kitchen when anybody could come in. Like, we got no sort of family reaction from anybody about Spencer and Olivia.
That's true. I don't think anybody knows though.
That nobody knows. Well,
I
like
don't
even
think
Jordan, I'm just like I don't know.
because they literally just with the time period of everything, they had the crash, confessed their love for each other, had the crash, and then it kind of like leads into this mess. There was no conversation between
But
anybody
even
else
like
and
the
like
fallout, did the parents not know about Vegas? Did they were just like, oh,
I yeah
like
yes.
Grace is so perceptive. Was Grace not like, oh, so you and Layla broke up, and now Olivia's going?
I mean, I want to attribute it to the fact that Spencer had always been invited over because they used to live together, and so like he's a
Yeah,
part of the family regardless.
yeah,
And because like Billy and Grace are so close. Um, but I still think nobody knows that
they're
they're
together.
actually
It
together.
seemed, yeah, it seemed much more so this episode that they were actually sort of officially together now.
Right. But then
But
at the same time, are they? I
are they?
mean,
I don't. It's
I
like they're
love
sort of
yous
in
were
limbo.
exchanged. Exactly. I love yous were
It's sort of in
exchanged,
limbo.
but they did not define the relationship. Let's be
They
real
did not
here.
define the relationship, and that's because Spencer, well, Olivia was giving him looks, and they can. That's one thing they can do is they can communicate without talking. They've been able to do
Hmm.
this like from the beginning of the series, I'd say, like
Yeah.
communicating without talking. And she's just like, do not tell my parents about the drinking. And so she, jumps ahead of him, and she's just like, I had a drink. It was so funny because she really thought she was gonna get away with that. But it shows you that she wasn't like in her proper mindset. Cause she was just like, no, I'm just gonna jump ahead, and he's gonna like let it slide.
Yeah.
That I
And
said
he's
I had one
looking
drink.
dead in this woman's face, like you can't really sit here and give them this BS after I know the
Yeah,
truth. He was not letting
yeah,
up. He really had
he
his
was
foot
not.
on the gas, and he just said, "Look, we're gonna air all this out now. Let the chips fall when they may. It is what it is. I'm here to protect you." So,
Yeah, and we should know that she was the reason why she didn't want it to come out is because, well, part of the reason why she didn't want it to come out is because she didn't want to be sent back to rehab.
right.
Um, and so it does seem like it was more about her being alone and feeling like no one was in her corner.
Hmm.
Um, and so Laura presses, which I root for Laura all the time. I want the best for Laura because she tries. Billy, on the other hand, don't even get me
Billy.
started on this man. Earlier, we didn't even mention this. Laura suspected Olivia had been using. She thought she was using pills, but she had been drinking. But Laura
Hmm.
had her suspicions. She was just like, "We need to get her tested." Billy was like, "Nah."
Yeah, because it like shows that we don't trust her. And I mean,
Yeah,
I understand his point of view,
yeah,
but I guess when you have a daughter who has been addicted to drugs and you suspect this kind of thing, it sucks because it is an invasion of privacy, but at the same time she's still a minor, so
yeah. You gotta use the available resources that you got.
yeah.
And he took her out to breakfast and was just like, "Oh, I noticed that you're not eating as much," and he's just like, just have a bite of eggs, and I'll know that you're okay."
Dads are
This man,
oblivious.
this man is more of a dad to Spencer than he is to either Jordan or Olivia.
Oh, talk about it.
Most
Talk about
especially
it.
Olivia. Okay, not he. I'm just going. Can we touch on this? He finds out Spencer's arm goes numb. He's like, "We gonna scour the nation, get you the
Anything for
best
my
doctors
son.
available, get you the best doctors available." Liv gets shot. He didn't even take her. He wasn't even a part of taking her home. I just noticed that. And we have, I don't think we've ever, like, seen him check up on her. But that's
Yeah, you don't really see like a very close, tight
relationship between the two of them.
correct. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you saw a little bit of that today, or
Yeah.
tonight, but it's not something that was developed
We
throughout the
see often.
series.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, yeah, that's so true because, as we saw, he lets Spencer spills the secret. Everybody immediately sort of freaks out, but most especially Billy. Billy starts yelling out of nowhere. Why did he think that was okay? We are not gonna get our foots off of Billy's neck right now because why would he yell?
That's the thing. That is the thing. And not only that, but then when we move a couple of scenes, he's blaming Spencer. You knew and you didn't tell
Stop.
us. I
I
was like,
was
hold up,
like,
sir. Wait a
Billy
minute.
Beathead.
I was looking around the room like, did this man not just find out like the rest of us? Hold on.
Stop. Is this the same man yelling who covered for Asher while he was using steroids? Who did it? Who
And
did
Jordan
not
too.
protect and Jordan when he was using weed and just let Asher go without giving him any sort of talking to after he slut shamed his daughter at home? Don't even.
Uh,
Billy, you can't be coming for Spencer about nothing. And Spencer is just like, and the fact that Billy assumed that Spencer knew this whole time wasn't even OD. Spencer was like, hold up. I just found out, okay?
you're the
And
reason why
I
I
noted,
know.
literally.
Or I'm the reason why you know.
Exactly. I'm the reason why you know. I'm the one who put two and two together. I had to use context clues. Why do I know more about your daughter than you?
Exactly.
He really should have said that. He wouldn't, but it would have been fun. But yeah,
And
so
what was good is though, like he obviously realized he's like, no, I'm projecting. I'm like
yeah,
yelling at the wrong person.
yeah.
But yeah, that was just quite the moment. I feel bad for Spencer all the time because he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. And this is just a reoccurring theme.
Olivia had him just. He didn't even know whether he was coming or going this episode because the only thing he did know was that he was going to tell her parents, and he did. And then after he did that, he was just like, I don't know what to do with
Right.
myself. It seemed to be that way. And we see Olivia sort of going through this thing where she's just like, it's not a big deal. I have control over it. My addiction are pills. My addiction isn't alcohol. I don't want to be sent back to rehab. She breaks down several times in this episode. She breaks down with Jordan when he goes to check on her. She's just like, please don't let them send me away. It was so sad.
Aww.
And she breaks down just all over the place. She like apologizes she goes on an apology tour.
I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry to you. Goodness.
She really did though. We see her with Asher. And this is before, they know that she had like relapsed, but she like goes to Asher and she's just like, he came up to her and he was just like, I heard about the crash. I'm sorry, whatever. And she was just like, I just wanted to say, sorry for how everything went down at the cabin and the breakup. And then we see her do the same to Layla, apologizing for like their blow.
Yeah.
Which was, it had the people, Layla and Olivia's blow up had the people in the restaurant turning their head.
They were loud, though. I mean,
They were loud.
It, you had some low blows. But as I'm sitting there watching it, I keep thinking to myself, but did she lie? No. Olivia came with facts.
She came with receipts. She came with some incorrect receipts, though. I do want, for the Layla fans, which I love Layla, I have love for Layla. For the Layla fans, she did get it incorrect that Layla intentionally got Spencer drunk. She did not intentionally get Spencer drunk, or at least that's what she said.
Yeah.
But facts regarding her being there for her at her lowest point, and really, I think the biggest blow, which led into this episode, right, was that she was just like, you didn't even notice that my addiction was that bad.
Mm-hmm.
You go to this next scene where Olivia is apologizing, and I had been wondering who she said this to in the entire episode, and she said it to Layla, which was, she was just like, I don't want to let things be left unsaid, go unsaid.
Mm-hmm. Something along those lines.
Yeah, something along those lines. And we see her actually a couple of times, because Layla's gonna walk away like three different times, and Olivia's like, wait, and I don't think she ever really gets what she actually wanted to say off of her chest. Like, she apologizes, but then we see her give back, and one of their top sweet moments as besties, which some people don't believe they're besties, but one of their top sweet moments as besties. She gives back the Wonder Woman pin that Layla gave to her for her 1-year sobriety mark. Ooh. And Layla's just like, I will take it and I will walk away.
Dang.
The fact that I was like so wanting that to be a deep moment. And I understand that she was like still in her feelings, still upset about everything, because Olivia lied to her. And lies of omission and actual lies.
It's true.
Yeah, and so, but I was just like, Layla didn't question that she gave her back the sobriety pin?
Oh, like she didn't put two and two together. Like, this could be significant because you gave me this when I was sober and I'm giving it back to you now.
And she was just like, but she also said, I don't deserve it. What did you think about that?
I mean,
because I want to make sure it wasn't just me, like, being like, girl.
Like, oh my gosh.
Played in your face.
It's, I don't know. It may be, as you said, where Layla is just so hurt that she can't put two and two together.
Yeah.
She might just be in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a tough situation between the two of them. Yeah.
It is.
That relationship is going to be... It's going to be interesting to see how they get back together, if that ever happens, and what that looks like.
Yeah, because it's a small show. It's a small cast. And so, like, they're not going to interact. And so it'll be interesting to see how the writers navigate that relationship. I am of the vein that I want to see, after some distance, that I want to see them come back together as best friends, because I feel like there's been way more toxic relationships on TV. You think of like the Serena and Blairs of the world, or the Paytons and the Brooks of the world. So we'll see where Layla and Olivia end up.
We'll see. But see, and this is the thing, and it goes back to girl code. Stop sharing your men, because that's how the mess starts. Be very upfront from the get-go about your feelings. I mean, if you have to call dibs, mark your territory, whatever, but just make it very clear, because the moment you guys start double dipping, it's going to be an issue.
It's going to be messy.
Yes. That stuff is not easily forgiven.
As Layla said, he cares for me, but he loves you. That was wild.
I mean, we're having a whole Brandy and Monica moment. The boy is mine. I can't.
The boy is mine. The fact that Olivia said, he said he loves me. I didn't tell him to say that. For me!
Look, girl,
say that?
I didn't force this man up. He wants this.
She was technically right. She was technically right. But
I
I
didn't do
wish but
nothing.
you don't start off the conversation saying, he said it, I didn't say it, I didn't tell him to say that. She should have been like, you know what, I said, what about Layla? I don't know, but you know what I mean? She did. She was like, what about Layla and Asher? We don't care about Asher.
No. Poor Asher.
But
He's just
yeah,
not
poor
relevant
Asher.
right now.
He did bring some food around, and he had his little storyline where the coach, which I love, Coach Montez, she's great. She wants him to switch positions. That was our little explaining the Asher story.
Our tribute to Asher.
Our tribute to Asher in this episode, and he brought some food for Jordan. Yeah, that was fun.
Cut the check, okay?
On to the next. On to the next. Yeah, so we see that, and then later we see that Layla has a little bit more of a reflective moment, and she's just like, "Whoa!" Like Liv was actually trying to tell me something earlier when I shut her down, and I didn't see, when she was at her lowest. So when she was at her lowest, they had this girl digging out the trash can.
That scene, I said, "Oh no, you can't be that bad. Girl, you gotta see that you have a problem."
And she threw it away. So basically what happened was she left in the middle of the day. Her parents dropped her off and was going to pick her up at this specific time. So she was going throughout her day, going on her little apology tour. She's like, bump this, I think after what happened with Layla, and she was just like, I'm going to go try to find my sponsor, who I've been calling this entire time. She hasn't been picking up. Couldn't find her sponsor. She takes Jordan's car, so of course they're like looking for her, blowing up her phone. She lets Jordan know that she's okay and really doesn't get a hold of her sponsor until she goes back to the school to get some alcohol that she threw away. Digging back through the trash can is sitting, and then finally her sponsor's roommate calls and tells her that her sponsor is in jail. I don't know what I expected, but I did not expect that.
I thought the sponsor was dead, to be honest. I don't know why.
I thought the sponsor was dead. I knew the sponsor had, I thought the sponsor was dead or relapsed. I didn't know that the sponsor was in jail.
Yeah.
But they had her digging through a trash can, visiting a jail. Scared straight.
Thank you. All Americans scared straight.
All Americans scared straight. They had can we talk about her outfit, she was in some, sober, plain, we have never seen Olivia dressed down this bad.
It has to be contributed to her mood.
Yeah. It had to be contributed to her mood. She was just in a plain t-shirt and a hoodie and some Vans. And the hoodie wasn't even all the way pulled. She had it, off one sleeve, she was just we are going to let the audience know that she is an addict.
Exactly.
Because she was looking, at least in the jail, she was looking a little busted.
Oh gosh, poor girl looking rough.
Looking rough. Only to be outdone by her sponsor, who was very
out here, robbing her parents' house and everything. That was quite the story.
It was. She was just and I'm glad that they did it. But then it seemed like her parents I was just did the parents do it because they wanted you to get help and it was just a lessons learned type of thing? Or was it really your parents were done with you? Because she made it seem like her parents were done with her.
I feel like it's the done, because if you want somebody to get help, don't you call the rehab center as opposed to the police?
You're correct. You're correct. And she was just she told Olivia, she was like, girl, at least you got a home to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it was good that she had gone through such an extreme incident, because it really put things in perspective for Olivia.
It did. You know? In the words of my mother, she was like, Olivia said, "Oh, I don't want to go to jail."
Thank you. I'm
not trying that to from the jump. She told Spencer to No, but she was she did not want to go to jail. She was in the car having her, again, another breakdown as Billy got some sound advice from Diablo from Sisters.
Yeah.
And Diablo from Sister told Billy, don't call her all frantic. Like, don't act a mess. Don't act a fool.
Right.
Just say that you love her and invite her to come back home. And so, Olivia's listening to that voicemail from Billy, and it breaks her down. And she doesn't go home immediately. What she does is go to Spencer. Which Grace, can we talk about that real quick? In the middle of all this, Spencer went to his therapist. Spencer got a talking to from Grace. Grace was like, Olivia calls.
Oh my goodness.
Told you to switch seats with her? Are you
crazy? If one thing is going to be true with this show, Grace is going to have sense, okay? And she's going to let you know that she has sense.
And you know what? Olivia's been down bad in a lot of ways, but I truly, just personally, want to see the development of Grace and Olivia's relationship from here on out, because at least, there might be, there's gonna be stuff with Spencer because the fans love it. But anyway, there's gonna be Spencer and Olivia together, so we know that they're gonna have moments, and she's gonna be in Crenshaw more. But that is not a good way.
No, that's not a good first impression,
honey.
No,
and I am just so curious.
Yeah.
To see how Grace now interacts with Olivia, because we never, Grace is love Layla. Grace was with Layla. She was amazing. She was for her. And so we'll see what she thinks of Olivia and the fact that he almost took the fall for her.
Mess of his whole. Can you imagine? Oh.
She was mad. She was upset, and rightfully so.
Right.
Because you need to get up for Vegas too.
Oh my gosh! Wait till you hear about what happened then.
Stop. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, but it's. You're absolutely right. That's going to be an interesting storyline as they move forward, because really looking at the magnitude of almost ruining your entire career. I mean, yes, you're in love with this girl. However, Olivia's going to have stuff to fall back on, right? Mom's district attorney, they have money. You don't have much, right? You're trying to get up out the hood. You're trying to fix your community.
You ain't got no scholarship offers right now.
No. You have no options. And the one option that you could possibly have could have gone out the window. So I'm glad that it wasn't written like that.
Same.
Yeah. But I'm just thankful for Grace.
Yeah. I feel like up until... It wouldn't have been a fair shake to this start of their... Even though it was a pretty bad start. But it wouldn't have been the fair shake to the start of their whatever they eventually end up doing.
Right.
Because, up until this point, Spencer and Olivia really... They had not been bad for each other. They have been very, in each other's corners. Never fought, never done anything. So this was very... It was out of character for Olivia. And she realized that. So when she... And Spencer's behavior in Vegas was sort of kind of out of character for him.
Yes.
And so they both, made mistakes. Olivia's was worse. Much worse. But she, at the end of the episode, made amends and apologized a couple times. Because Spencer was just like, you almost made me put my life on the line.
Right.
With the cops.
Right.
And because she was like, and to give some background for this, she came and she was just like, can you come with me to tell my parents? I just can't face them alone. And he was just like, well, you're going to have to.
Yeah.
And good for him. Good for him, honestly. But he was just like, yeah, you got to do this by yourself. And that's when he goes into his own soliloquy about him putting his life on the line for the cops. And I think that was another, she already had a wake-up call, but that was another level of the wake-up call.
Right.
Because we, hear her say, like, for the first time, and she told Leslie earlier, she was like, I would never rob, like, I would never rob my parents' house. I would never do anything to hurt, the people that I love. And so she saw for the first time that this was her, like, rob the house was her asking Spencer
Right.
to switch seats with her. And, God forbid something worse had happened. But when he said that, she was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And she,
Mm-hmm.
like, kept saying sorry, and she was just like, I forget what the actual line was, but it was something along the lines of, yeah, I don't want people to not be waiting for me. I don't want to not have a home to go back to. I don't want, I don't want the
Right.
people I love to, like, give up on me. And it seemed like she thought, without it being an acknowledgement on either part, it seemed like she thought she was just like, there was just like a mutual sort of pause on the relationship, because she was just like, I see that I hurt you, and I see that you're not gonna be there for me, even though I love you, because I just did this thing that hurt you profusely.
Right.
Um, so that's, and then she goes back to her family, and it's a whole big lovely moment where they're just like, we're not gonna ship you off to rehab.
Right.
You're
We're
gonna
all
go
gonna
to
go
outpatient.
together.
So about that too, because did they only go to that one meeting in season one? Their her family has got to do better. I hope
You guys have to.
I hope this is a wake up call for them, because
I think
that
so.
was
And
that
this
was
way, I
wild.
mean, I know that I think at the beginning of this season, as you mentioned, she was feeling as though, like, she didn't, I guess she didn't want to come off as a burden
Mm-hmm.
or feel as though, everyone was like so concerned with her. But at the same time, I think that also kind of distanced her away from the rest of the family. And
Yeah.
now they're basically like, we're all in this together and we're going to get through this together. And you really had like your prodigal son moment. So I'm
It
happy
was a
that it
beautiful
ended
moment.
that way.
I am too, because first of all, there's been a lot of drama, which has been entertaining, but it's been a lot of drama and just a lot of down moments
Hmm. Hmm.
this season. So it was nice to see her, her get to be happy a little
Right.
bit. Not happy with Spencer, but like just happy that her family is in her corner, which is what, from the beginning, very beginning, that's what she wanted, is for her family to be in her corner.
Right.
So that was really cute. We don't know what's gonna happen with her and Spencer though, because that kind of left on a
Yeah, it's on
unresolved
pause.
note. It's on pause.
We'll see how they intertwine their relationship because obviously something's gonna have to happen to where they have a conversation or something. So I'm excited to see how that goes. It might be with the next episode because we see Jordan in the hospital again. So
Ugh, it could be in the next episode. It could be in the next episode. I feel like the I feel like next episode, since they were hinting at it this time, I feel like now is when they're gonna figure out that Jordan's married. Like in the next
oh,
episode.
that's a good prediction.
Any
Yeah,
predictions
it's
from you? I think that we're gonna find out that Jordan's married. I think Spencer and Olivia are still gonna be in limbo up
okay.
until, I think they're gonna be in limbo for the time being, but
Hmm.
maybe, possibly, we'll get a moment at the end of the
At the
next
very end,
episode.
last 2 minutes, eight
They
fifty eight,
always do stuff. Literally,
all the
it's
time.
it until 8:50. Then everything starts to happen. This was the
Yes,
first time where it was just like the all of the crazy points were like distributed throughout, but
correct.
we were living within the last 2 minutes, 10 minutes for like the majority of the season.
Yes. They just give you a crumb, just a little
Just
taste
the
on your
crumbs.
tongue, okay? So, yeah, no, I think your prediction is really good for next week with Jordan and this marriage thing because at this point, his wife is going to be the one who's going to dictate his care. That has to come up at some point if there's a legal document or what
Oh my
have
god.
you. Um, so as always, we'll see how this goes.
We'll see how this goes. The only thing I gotta say is I just need Billy to keep with the same energy he kept this week, and he needs to be yelling at Jordan. Well, Jordan, yeah, we don't even know what happened to Jordan. We don't even know if Jordan's gonna hear him, but regardless, he needs to yell.
I have no idea. And it may be like another catalyst for Billy and Laura to get back together, because since they've been apart, their entire family has been in shambles. So
yes, literally one kid was
one relapsed. One is in a semi-coma or coma. You can't. These people cannot catch a break.
After the other.
Yeah.
The Bakers have been
the twins. The twins. Double the trouble, yo.
Double the trouble. Grace is gonna be like, you can't go to that house no more.
Yeah. It's just a handful. And then, again, another bomb drop would be the marriage, so.
I think that's the last domino. Besides the thing with Layla's dad, which.
Yeah, we'll see if that. Yeah. We'll see if that
JP
comes out afterwards. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Very exciting things.
This was fun. This was a good time.
It was.
I
enjoyed it. I think so, yeah. We kind of delved into things past and present, and a little bit of the future, so.
A little bit of the future, so we'll see what happens
next week is exciting. Super excited for it.
Alright, okay, thanks for chatting with me about this.
Thank you! I had a good time.
Alright, thanks. Again.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed these first 2 episodes of this launch of the podcast. Stay tuned next week when we come back and review episode 10. What is going to happen with Spencer, with Olivia, with Jordan, with Layla? We'll see, but I'm excited either way.